Hi YouTubers, this is again a Hawaiinani, aka Candle. I'm here to talk about some paranormal stuff. Well, as a child coming up between say 5 or 6 years old, or maybe young, a little older, I can remember feeling a lot of different things coming over me as a child. I didn't exactly know what it was, but I thought it was just because I was just, having imaginary friends. I just want to kind of touch bases on the situation, on the subject. Sorry, I haven't had really much experiences going out there with doing paranormal investigations and stuff like that, because I really don't have the guts to do it. But I do like the fact that other people can talk about their experiences they have had. I have a friend of mine who does EVPs, and she has the best EVPs on Pow Talk that I hear all the time on a ghost box. By the way, hi Vicky. Well, this is to get a little bit of a understanding about the situation. Well, what I do, I feel and I see and I can sense things. Even with people that are alive, or spirits that are in spirit world. Yeah, of course my son is letting you know too. Well, where my encounters were is when I was coming up in my 20s. I believe I had a premonition or more of a feeling of something concerning my little brother, which he passed in 1998. I happened to sense something when I was dating a guy that my mama didn't truly like at all. They hated him, but wasn't nothing they could say or do because I was an adult. But I got word all the time, oh, you didn't date him, blah blah blah. I didn't know what I was into with the guy. He was just he was okay, but he was a jerk per se. Anyway, on another subject, I was with him one night and I was hanging out with him in his apartment, and I had this strong feeling come over me, and I just couldn't knock it. And that feeling I couldn't shake from nothing, because I said I was telling him that I felt something wasn't right. I said to take me home. So he took me home, and I got to my mother's house. There were cars there at my mom's house, but nobody was at the house. So my grandmother didn't live very far. She stayed across the street from the subdivision my mom lived at. And I told him to take me by my grandmother's house, and when I got to my grandma's house, everybody was over there and something wasn't right, and everybody was really like sad. And I asked them what was wrong, and they said it was my little brother Edward Jr. And they said he was in a drowning accident. And the minute I had that feeling hit my stomach, and I couldn't shake it, because I'm like, no, this can't be true. This can't be happening, because he's just 12 years old. Well, he was, from what I understand, he was on life support. At one point, I thought he was going to get better, but he didn't, because they said his brain was dead. At one time, they did say he tried to show a little bit of activity, try to show a little more with his situation he was in. I couldn't see my brother. I couldn't handle it, because if I would have saw him, I don't know what my reactions would have been. I probably would have been, how would I say this? I would have been scared, but yet being his older sister, who in their right mind wouldn't be scared, because you don't know what their situation is going to be like, especially in a drowning accident. Well, I couldn't tolerate to see him. I couldn't handle it. I wasn't strong enough to see him. but I could feel his presence, and I did feel his presence. And every time I sleep, every dream I've had, he's appeared in it, in some type of way. And I always could explain that we were somewhere outside. It's like he would appear 1 minute and then he'd be gone. Now, ever since that has happened, I've had encounters with different other things has happened. My grandmother passing, I've seen her. My uncle passing, which he died like way before my grandmother and my brother passed. I've seen him. And it's just been a constant different type of dream. I think I've had visions of things blowing up. I don't know mostly what that means. Sometimes they have a positive outlook to it, and sometimes they have a bad outlook to it. Personally, I don't know yet, but I still can feel things and tell things about people that they probably would know that I would never know, but I could tell them. Freak them out sometimes too. Sometimes I do. But I just want to say that paranormal is things of paranormal. It exists. I don't care what nobody says. It does exist. And there's a lot of things people can debunk and say and do or whatever, but shit does exist. I don't care where you're from, what land you're on, what country you're from. There's things in this world that we cannot explain, and only God knows that. And I know a lot of people don't believe in him. I do, but to each his own. And I'm not knocking nobody's religious preferences, because I don't push it and I don't do it. I have my own thing. And yes, I do like to get into watching paranormal stuff. I like to hear EVPs, but I do not go ghost hunting. I'm too sensitive for that. But on another note, I want to end this video with a good, strong invitation of everybody. Look into it. If you have had encounters, leave a note. Tell me about it. I'm really willing to hear this. If you got a video, make a video. If you got a voice recorder, make a voice recorder. If just something. You guys don't be afraid to. If you got something has happened to you, talk about it. Who's gonna judge? Let people judge you. Oh well. It's their freaking freedom of speech. But you know what you are, who you are, and who you are, what you're about. So don't let the little shit get you. But thanks again, guys. Y'all have a good day. Take care. Bye.